Before we get into today's video, huge thanks to everybody who has purchased MagPass or pre-ordered issue number 7. I'm putting the final touches on this edition of my magazine, and I should be shipping it out, sending it production this week, and then shipping it out next week. So again, huge thanks to all you guys, and if you haven't ordered one, head to themxnetwork.com or link in the description to go snag one. Thanks.
Hello and welcome to this weekend's qualification report for Detroit Supercross. It's an early one today. Let's get into some pre-qualifying info before I get into the actual qualifying. Today they switched up the schedule a bit. 450s will be up first, in qualifying anyway, and then I think later tonight they will do 450 heats first, but 450 main last. I don't know why they're doing it that way, but that's what they determined. Not much pre-race info except the fact that it's going to be really rutted up tonight. Riders like Eli Tomac spoke on this. They said the dirt on the track is really moist, and that's going to make for a perfect recipe for a ruddy track. So that's going to be rough tonight. As we can see in qualifying, as we watch through this, it gets pretty ruddy pretty quick. So going to be interesting tonight. There were also some track changes made before qualifying. The original track map called for 12 whoops. They were told to knock it down to 9 by AMA and Feld. They also added a roller before the sand split lane. I'm not sure why. Maybe they were coming in too fast. Who knows? We have a little pre-qualifying injury update as well. 250 class Club Mex Yamaha rider Jett Reynolds. He was supposed to make his Supercross debut today. Unfortunately, he crashed in practice and broke his collarbone, I believe I heard. No further updates on him. Pro Circuit Kawasaki rider Seth Hammaker had a big one in practice as well. He looked to be injured. Took him a while getting up off the ground, but he came back and continued qualifying, so he was slow to get up, but I guess he's fine. He talked with medics for some time, but he's back riding, so I'm assuming he's good to go. All right, let's get right into it. 450 qualifying session number 1. Jett Lawrence came out on top with a 43.190 lap time. Jett was throwing down heaters for most of the session. He clearly had channeled a flow that most guys couldn't. He was doing some different lines and jumping deep into the sand corner. Just overall a good ride from him. Jett is going to be one to look out for tonight. I think he might be a race win threat. He's got some lines down that most don't, so. Second place, Chaseston with a 43.342. Chase was looking great out there. He began jumping the whoops right off the bat, along with his teammate Aaron Plessinger. Maybe it's just a KTM suspension thing. We've seen that in the past. He was doing different lines in the rhythm lanes to keep low and avoid ruts. Smart move by him. It was overall just technical ride from Chase. He wasn't really attacking the track like others. He was trying to find some more smooth, formidable lines that others weren't. In third place, we have Cooper Webb, 43.342. Webb somehow managed to match Chase's time in this session, which is incredibly hard to do. He looked great out there. He really focused on keeping his bike low. He was scrubbing a lot of jumps, hitting a lot of low lines. Like I said with Chase, hitting a different rhythm to keep himself low, not hitting the big 5-foot jumps. So he just didn't seem to have the lines down like Jett, but hey, Webb isn't normally a qualifying-oriented guy, so maybe he throws down tonight. We don't know. All right, I wanted to mention this. Unfortunately, the man heading up the Liqui Factory Beta team, as Nicholls is out, he got hurt in this session. It looked like it anyway. There was no crash footage, but we did see the aftermath. Maybe it's just a minor injury. He seems to be fine, as I believe he was back on the track in the final session, so unsure on that. I haven't got an update, but all right, let's look at the rest of the results from qualifying session 1. Fourth place, Ken Roczen. He was really close behind second and third. Tomac right there as well. Then there's a bigger gap between Tomac and Anderson. He was a little off. Hunter Lawrence in 7th, Malcolm Stewart 8th, Justin Cooper 9th, and the points leader Aaron Plessinger 10th, but he's never really been a qualifying guy, just like last weekend, ended up on the podium, but I believe he was 12th in qualifying, so we expected that kinda. All right, on to the first 250 qualifying session. Pierce Brown came out on top. That was a surprise to me. I mean, he's a great rider, but he just seems off the past few years, injured, stuff like that. So that was a surprise for me. 44.116 was his lap time. That's his first time finishing first in qualifying. Hopefully, he can hold that in the next session. I don't have much to say on Pierce, as Race Day Live did what they do and focused on guys barely in the top 10, such as Hayden Deegan, and ignored top guys like Pierce. So whatever, congrats Pierce. Let's use this as momentum and see what he can do in the main. Second place, Max Anstey with a 44.492. Max was throwing down heaters the whole session. Rumors all winter were that he would be the guy, and let me tell you, some of his fast laps in this session show it. I mean, he means business out there this year. He didn't really do anything unique. He just kind of rode the track like a bulldog, hitting lines really hard, just kind of seemed on the gas more than other guys, hitting bumps faster than other guys, hitting lines. I don't know. He just seemed like a bulldog out there. There's no real good description for it. In third place, Austin Forkner, 44.571. It looks like we have the old Forkner back now. Don't let the lap time deceive you, as he did sustain a preseason injury, so he returned to training late. This may not translate well into the main event tonight, but it's cool to see Forkner back running up front, showing he's got speed. Now I've got an honorable mention here I wanted to throw in. Hayden Deegan really struggled in this session, finishing 7th. He looked to be riding over his head, in my opinion. He was casing some stuff, not too bad, just enough to slow him down, and he was overshooting jumps a couple of times. He just seemed a bit uncomfortable out there. I'm not sure if it's his wrist injury, maybe he's uncomfortable with the bike. We know he had time off the bike. We don't know how long. He might have been lying. He only said a week or so. I kind of doubt that. But that's definitely not what we were expecting from Hayden Deegan this year. All right, on to the 450. Overall, not much change from the first session in the top 10. Cooper Webb moved up from 3rd place to 2nd, just .009 seconds behind Jett Lawrence, so he's proven that he's got his speed. He looked pretty good considering how rough the track had gotten. He's going to be dangerous tonight for sure. He really attacked the track in this session. He kind of utilized the lines he learned in the first one, but attacked it more in the second. Maybe he's setting precedent for the main tonight. Who knows? Maybe Webb can finally get that dominant win he's looking for, not like last weekend's. Next big change, Justin Cooper must have found some good lines as he moved up from 9th to 6th overall. J. Coop has been silently fast both in qualifying and in a couple races so far this year, so I'm hoping he can pull off a good finish tonight. He's proved he can have the speed. He just has to put it all together. Maybe tonight is the night. Here is a look at the overall results on the 450 class sessions. Jett came out on top. Cooper 2nd, Sexton 3rd, Tomac 4th, Roczen 5th. Behind that, it was a pretty big gap from Roczen to J. Coop, but then it was pretty tight together from there on out. From 8th place, Hunter Lawrence, 9th place, Malcolm Stewart, and 10th place, Aaron Plessinger. He remained there. All right, on to the overall for the 250 class. A little change happened in the final 250 session. For starters, Daxton Bennick made the move from 10th to 7th overall, surpassing his teammate Hayden Deegan. Early in the session, he was actually following Deegan to learn lines, but it looks like he's capitalized on that. Impressive stuff from this kid. He's going to be one to look out for tonight. Looking really fast out there. Next big move was the young Spaniard, Guillem Ferez. He made moves, rising into the top 10 late in the session with a solid 45.738 lap time. They didn't show him on the broadcast at all, really, unfortunately, but surprising finish for the kid who has yet to race around a Supercross. I believe he was barely in the top 20 after the first session. I don't quite remember, but I know he was pretty far from top 10, so moving up to the 10th or 9th is pretty impressive. Final big change, Jalek Swoll making the Triumph debut today. He looked all right out there. He struggled early but rose to 10th overall towards the end. He ate it pretty hard in this session. That should be on screen now, but he seems to be fine now. He's looking forward to see what this guy has in the main tonight. Let's make that debut one to remember. All right, and here's the official overall results for the 250 class. Pierce Brown on top, Anstey 2nd, Forkner 3rd, Vialle 4th. I didn't mention him, but that's a pretty impressive ride from Vialle. He looks solid today. Hammaker 5th, Hymas 6th, Bennick 7th, like I mentioned, 8th, Deegan 9th, Ferez 10th, Swoll. Pretty impressive move from a few of these guys, such as Vialle, Anstey, Forkner. Pretty impressive move on them, on their part. I mean, Deegan kind of struggling. I hardly mentioned Hymas, but 6th is pretty impressive for him as well. So looking forward to what these guys have tonight. That's all I have for this qualifying report. Let me know who you guys think is going to dominate tonight. Do you think Cooper Webb's going to finally get that dominating win he needs? Or how about in the 250s? Is Deegan going to turn this around by the main event? Or is Pierce Brown going to come out in a surprise win tonight? How about Max Anstey? We know he's been fast. Let me know your guys' thoughts on tonight's results. Who's going to do what? What do you guys think about qualifying? Let me know everything in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. See you in next week's qualifying report.